Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're jumping headfirst into Bibliomancers Chapter 90. We are going to unpack everything from a super messy romantic reunion all the way to the huge cosmic questions that this chapter leaves us with.
All right, let's get right into it. The chapter kicks off with Jacques stepping out of that bizarre tower dimension, right back into a familiar hallway in Tregaron. And who's the very first person he sees? His love interest, Frida.
So they have this passionate reunion kiss, but the moment gets completely torpedoed by Jacques' new companion, Harry. Now this line is just brilliant because it drops a brand new name, Sarah, right into this really tender moment. It instantly puts Frida on the defensive and just sets the stage for some major tension.
Yeah, Jack's return is not the simple homecoming he was hoping for. Not at all. Instead, it just explodes into this complex social minefield, and it's all fueled by jealousy, a ton of insecurity, and some seriously high-level flirting.
Harry, without even missing a beat, just launches into this poetic compliment in Italian, and Jack, not about to be outdone, fires right back in French. This isn't just flirting, folks. This is a duel, a full-on compliment battle with two guys, two different romance languages, both vying for Frida's attention right there in the hallway.
So right in the middle of all this romantic chaos, Jacques asks a question that just yanks us right back to the central mystery of the series, the completely weird, reality-bending physics of that tower he just escaped. Just how much time has actually passed in the real world.
Well, from Jake's perspective, he was gone for nearly 3 days. He was fighting for his life in some kind of bizarre manufactured heaven. He saw sunrises, sunsets, he lived through an entire revolution.
But for Frida, who was waiting anxiously, it was barely 10 minutes. 10 minutes! This just perfectly shows the temporal chaos of the tower, right? The first time he went in, days for him were weeks on the outside. This time, it's the total opposite. The rules aren't just strange, they're completely inconsistent.
After some more witty back and forth, Frida just cuts right through the tension. She literally rips off her t-shirt, runs down the hall, and throws down this playful challenge. The public duel is over, and she's signaling loud and clear that it's time for their private reunion.
But hold on. Before Jack can follow her, he has this incredibly raw and vulnerable moment with Harry. He lays all his deepest insecurities out on the table, admitting he's scared of the competition, because deep down, he feels like he's not good enough for Frida. And this is so important, because this insecurity, it's the filter he's about to see everything through.
So, let's see how this plays out, shall we? Cut to breakfast. And what should be a really happy meal turns into a total masterclass in anxiety and misinterpretation for poor Jacquette.
Jack walks into the dining room, and what's the first thing he sees? Frida and Harry already there, laughing together like they're the best of friends. And then his mind, which is already just buzzing with self-doubt, goes into a complete nosedive. He's seeing his worst fears play out right in front of him.
And Frida, she has no clue what's going on in his head. She makes this playful, intimate comment, thinking she's just kind of bragging about their passionate reunion. But Jacques, hearing this through that thick filter of jealousy, interprets it as her being so comfortable with Harry that she's already talking about their sex life with him.
And that's it. That's the breaking point for him. In his mind, her casual intimacy with Harry is the ultimate proof that he's being replaced. He just sinks into this feeling of complete and utter defeat, totally convinced he's already lost her.
Just when you think things cannot possibly get any more awkward, the conversation takes this wild, confusing left turn that, believe it or not, actually leads to the truth. So when Frida asks this, where does Jacques' mind go? Of course, it goes to the worst possible place. He assumes she wants a three-way relationship with Harry, and this is just her way of slowly phasing him out of the picture. And this is the moment, right here. He's been pushed to his absolute limit, and he just cuts through all the subtext, all the flirting, all the misunderstandings. He puts his heart on the line and says exactly what he wants, loud and clear.
And then, bam, the truth finally comes out. The entire rivalry was just a giant misunderstanding. Harry isn't competing for Frida's affection at all. Nope. In fact, Frida is trying to recruit him to be her new gay best friend, and all that flirting was just part of their banter.
With the air finally cleared, Frida gives him this perfect little tease for his very traditional, straight guy assumptions about the whole situation. The conflict just melts away into laughter, and with that, they finally and officially become a couple.
Okay, so with all that relationship drama sorted out, Jacques' focus just snaps right back with incredible intensity to the much larger problems at hand. Finding his grandfather and navigating a world of cosmic beings.
His mind immediately clicks into gear and organizes this crystal-clear to-do list. First, talk to the mystic Aya. Second, get Harry situated. And third, find the next clue from his grandfather. The personal stuff is over. The quest is back on. So, he finds Aya and presents her with this really chilling warning he got from a trickster god back in the tower. The core of his question is pretty simple. In a cosmic cage match between gods, demons, and dragons, who actually comes out on top? And Aya's breakdown here is pretty fascinating. She theorizes that chaotic beings like dragons and demons are on a similar power level. But gods, they can have different alignments, and a lawful god, she suggests, would be the easiest prey for a chaotic dragon. But here's the picker, and it's a big one. She admits this is all academic, it's book knowledge. She's never actually met any of them. For his last task, Jack seeks out the estate manager, Collins. He's trying to get inside his grandfather's head to understand his state of mind right before he vanished. So he asks a simple, direct question, just hoping for one last breadcrumb to follow.
And this is the answer he gets. The very last book his grandfather was reading was Christopher Hitchens' famous atheistic text. So, that's the note the chapter ends on, leaving us with this final, massive question. In a quest that is increasingly filled with actual gods and demons, what does it mean that the man Jack is searching for was reading a book about how none of it is real?